giant killers, war heroes, and the superhuman stories that put them in the history books. From Desmond Doss to Audie Murphy, history's greatest war heroes gave everything for their country and embodied the meaning of bravery with their incredible acts of selflessness. What defines history's greatest war heroes? The answer isn't always simple. The normal attributes ascribed to heroes, like bravery, sometimes don't apply in war, where every day might offer the terrifying possibility of losing your life. As World War II veteran William Carpenter once said, "You show me a man who says he was brave during World War II, and I'll show you a liar." Every one of us was afraid. Even the Germans were afraid. Like bravery, we might think that skill with a weapon is a key element of war heroes. However, some of the most remarkable war heroes never even picked up a weapon. Take Desmond Doss. Doss was a fearless World War II medic who refused to carry a gun. Dubbed a conscientious objector, he nevertheless single-handedly saved the lives of 50 to 100 American soldiers on the Maida Escarpment of Okinawa in 1945. Doss also treated his own injuries to save stretchers for others and earned the Medal of Honor, making him the first conscientious objector to do so. Henry Johnson. As part of the Black Regiment known as the Harlem Hellfighters, Henry Johnson suffered 21 wounds and rescued a soldier while repelling an enemy raid in the Argonne Forest during World War I. Nicknamed Black Death during wartime, Johnson's discharge papers contained errors and left out his injuries, therefore denying him disability pay and his Purple Heart. He died at 32, but his military legacy lives on through his son, Herman Johnson, who served with the famous Tuskegee Airmen. The Giant Killer, America's smallest war hero. Richard J. Flaherty, due to complications at his birth, only grew to 4 foot 9 inches tall, 97 pounds. Coming from a family of military heroes, Richard also wanted to do his part and serve his country. People laughed at the idea of a man his size in the military, and all the branches turned him down. But that didn't deter Richard. He spent the next 3 years writing letters until he finally received a medical waiver. With the waiver, the Army allowed him to join. But no one ever believed he would make it through basic training. His uniforms didn't fit, the equipment was too big, and he was required to carry a backpack during long marches that was almost the same weight as he was. Because of his leg length, marching in step with the rest of his company was incredibly difficult, but Richard kept up. All the obstacle courses were built for average-sized men, but Richard conquered them all. No rules were ever changed for Richard. Either he would sink or swim. Richard didn't just make it through basic training, he volunteered and became an elite paratrooper with the 101st Airborne. When he would jump out of planes, the instructors would have to strap machine gun parts to his body to help his descent so he wouldn't float away. He graduated officer candidate school in 1968 as a second lieutenant and deployed to Vietnam. Within weeks, he would lead his platoon in some of the bloodiest battles during the Tet Offensive. In that week, he was wounded twice by grenade fragmentation and a grazing bullet wound to the head, but as soon as he was patched up, he jumped right back into the battle. After several months of fighting on the front lines, many officers would accept assignments in the rear away from the action, but not Richard. He would request to be transferred to Echo Company to lead a recon unit which engaged in dangerous search and destroy missions deep into enemy territory. By the time his first tour in Vietnam was finished, Richard would receive a Silver Star, 2 Bronze Stars with Valor, and 2 Purple Hearts. If you think that's where Richard's story ends, think again. Richard would become an elite Green Beret with the 3rd Special Forces Group and be promoted to captain. He served with the 46th Company based in Thailand, where some of their clandestine missions sent them into pink zones across the fence fighting Malaysian and Burmese guerrillas. This is the most decorated soldier in U.S. history. His name was Audie Murphy. When the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, he decided to join the Army, but he was turned away for being too small. He kept trying, and soon he was off to fight in World War II. He fought bravely in many battles and soon earned a Medal of Honor. His platoon was advancing with a tank into German territory. The Germans scored a direct hit on the tank. Audie ordered his men to retreat. Then he jumped on top of the flaming tank and fired the machine gun for an hour, holding off hundreds of Germans. He was like a blockbuster movie hero, except he was real. But in the real world, there was a price to pay. After all of those battles, Audie Murphy suffered from PTSD for the rest of his life, but he forged on and became a Hollywood actor. He appeared in more than 40 movies. Then in 1971, Audie Murphy died in a plane crash.